Okay, so we will start. This is our lecture number 8 on solid state physics. And today we will discuss these topics. Uh, okay, we will discuss about the band theory, Bloch theorem, and effective mass, effective velocity. These two topics now are very, very important. You will see. And then previous year's problems based on these topics. Okay, so first of all, this is from the last slide, last to last lecture. Okay, so you need to correct this, because by mistake in that lecture now, yeah, I think I take sigma upon k. Okay, so you need to correct. I will update the PDF. Okay, but if you already downloaded the PDF now, so you need to correct. Okay, in that slide it's sigma upon k, but the actual thing is k upon sigma. Okay, so you need to correct. And this question was in the quiz also. Okay, you remember?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
so just correct this. So that's why I included it. Okay, so we will discuss about the band theory and about the Bloch theorem. Okay, so you have already we have already discussed about the free electron theory, okay, in the last lectures. And this theory, the free electron theory, is also failed because there were some things, some important information about the solids which cannot be explained by the free electron theory. So after the failure of this free electron theory, the band theory comes into picture. Okay, and this theory is basically here we assume that inside the solid, inside the crystal, there is a periodic potential, and the electrons inside the crystals, they are facing this periodic potential. Because why we are talking that the potential is periodic? In your crystal, what we learned, the basic concept, the basic principle, in crystal was that the atoms or molecules are arranged in a regular and repeated manner. Okay, means there is some periodicity, we can say, of atoms or molecules. So due to these atoms, okay, inside the crystal, there will be positive ion cores. Okay, and due to this positive charges, there will be some kind of force, and this force will be responsible to produce the potential. Okay, so the potential, the behavior of the potential will be periodic in nature, because the basic thing is that the atoms and molecules are periodically arranged. Okay, so the free electrons which is moving, suppose we have a free electron here and it is moving inside the crystal, so it has to face the periodic potential inside the crystal lattice. So that is the main theory in this theory. Okay, so okay, so we can write out, and this is a quantum mechanical thing. We are talking about the potential energy. So to figure out the process, the mathematical thing, we need to describe first this by quantum mechanics. Okay, and what we will do first, we have to write the Schrodinger equation. Okay, for this. Yes.
Ma'am, can you explain one more time, ma'am?
Yeah.
After free electron theory.
Okay, yeah, Justin. So in Justin, like free electron theory has failed. Okay, and so we need some modified and some modern theory to explain the behavior of electrons inside the crystal. Okay, so what we took here, we took that the assumption that inside the crystal, the free electron which is moving inside the crystal, it is influenced by the periodic potential. Because in your crystal, the atoms or molecules or ions, whatever you want to say, these particles are regularly arranged, and there is a periodicity in the arrangement of these particles. Okay, and if we are talking about ions, okay, there are ions inside the crystal. If you see like NaCl crystal, so in NaCl crystal there will be sodium ions and chloride ions, right? So due to the ions, there will be some force inside the crystal due to these ions. Okay, and this and so if some electron is moving inside the crystal, and it is coming in the proximity of ion. So due to the force produced by the ion, the electron is influenced, okay? And in quantum mechanics, we are saying that these ions are creating some periodic potential, okay? Some potential means they are producing some potential energy in the path of your electron. But we are going to describe the whole scenario mathematically. So in quantum mechanics, what we took instead of potential energy, we are talking about the potential, okay? So this potential is there, periodic potential is there inside the crystal, and your moving electron has to face this periodic potential, okay? So we will describe what is this potential, how we can get more information about this behavior, okay? So we need to describe the whole scenario by quantum mechanics, okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, so we are taking this Schrodinger equation, okay? So your Schrodinger equation will be this, you all know, if the potential is V naught in this case, so this will be your Schrodinger equation, okay? And the potential we are talking about again and again, this is periodic potential. So what will be the condition of periodic potential? The condition will be that if at any position, at any point X, your potential energy is Vx, that at x plus a location, the potential energy will also be same, okay? Because a is the lattice constant. A is the lattice constant, means the distance between the neighbors, nearest neighbors, okay? So this is your lattice constant. So after this A, the potential energy will be same. So Vx equals to Vx plus A. This is the behavior of this potential because it's periodic in nature. So the solution of this Schrodinger equation, this Schrodinger equation is very, very special, okay? And the suggested scientists, they solved many mathematical equations, and they figured out that what would be the main and satisfied we can say wave function for that particular equation. So it will be psi kx, it represented by psi ax, and it is the product of two very important terms, okay? So psi kx equals to ukx e to the power ikx. So this term is a solution of previous Schrodinger equation, right? And this term ukx is some, we can say, arbitrary function, but it has a very, very interesting role. What is the role? That this ukx is basically ukx plus a, means this function ukx is following the same kind of periodicity as your lattice crystal lattice is following, because this a is nothing, this a is the lattice constant, okay? So this term ukx is the periodic term, periodic function, and it is represented by ukx equals to ukx plus a, okay? And the second term in the wave function, that is e to the power ikx. So what is this function? You are familiar with this function. So this function is basically represent the plane wave, okay? If we have a plane wave, so we can represent the plane wave by using this wave function, okay? So this function, and in here this x, this is x actually, this r, this x is the position vector, and the k term we are using here is a wave vector. So this function, we can say, is known as the Bloch function, okay? This function psi kx equals to ukx e to the power ikx is known as Bloch function, and this whole method, this whole assumption is known as Bloch theorem. Bloch theorem is what? That the Schrodinger, the solution of the Schrodinger equation can be represented by the product of these two functions or terms. So this is your Bloch theorem, okay? And this function you can also write if you are talking about in 3 dimension, and you can also write psi kr, and if you are also talking about in single position coordinates, so ukx is also known as your Bloch function, okay? And this thing is very, very important, that this term ukx equals to ukx plus a, because you will get questions in which you need to apply this formula, okay, to solve the problem. So any confusion here?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So we'll see the problem from NET December 2015 examination. For an electron moving through a 1D periodic lattice of periodicity A, which of the following corresponds to an energy eigenfunction consistent with Bloch's theorem? Okay, so you have to check basically what function is basically the function which is satisfying your Bloch theorem. Okay, so we have different wave functions here, and we have given the periodicity of your crystal lattice. So what formula you will use? This formula we will use, that psi x plus a equals to psi x. Okay, because this periodicity is also same for this wave function. So for the wave function, we will also apply this relation psi x plus a equals to psi x. Then we will see that for which option among the four options we have this relation. Okay, so you can check you can check for any option, like I'm choosing this option. Okay, the second option, I will tell you later why I'm choosing this. So this is your psi x. Okay, and if you want to find out psi x plus a, just replace your x by x plus a. So this x will be pi x plus a upon a plus cos 2 pi x upon a x plus a. Okay, once you will open this term, it will be pi x upon a plus pi, and the second term will be 2 pi x upon a plus 2 pi. Okay, so you know what is your we can say this thing, you know, cos 2 pi plus theta is what, you know, is cos theta, is simply cos theta. So this term is basically cos 2 pi plus theta, and cos 2 pi plus theta is nothing but cos theta. Okay, and for this term a exponential I pi x upon a plus pi, you can also write this. Okay, so you can find out that your function is, this function you are getting is nothing, your function is psi x. Okay, so for this relation you can find out that psi x plus a equals to psi x. Okay, you need to like this is cos hyperbolic x, so here you cannot find this relation, and this is the modulation thing. So if you will apply, so okay, so for this also you cannot find the relation. So you just need to solve the options, okay, for the same relation, and you can find out the right answer. Okay, so this is how you can solve the problems based on this Bloch function or Bloch theorem. So this is also a problem for from the same topic, NET June 2014. Consider an electron in BCC lattice with lattice constant A single particle wave function that satisfies the Bloch theorem will have the form, this form. Okay, with Fr being, okay, so you have to okay, so this question is a little bit same. Okay, you have a BCC crystal structure, BCC lattice with lattice constant A, means periodicity is A. Okay, and you have to find out the wave function which will satisfy the Bloch theorem. Okay, and the function will be of this kind. Here we are not talking about psi r. Okay, here we are writing the function as f of r. Okay, f of vector r e to the power I vector k dot vector r, and you have to find out this wave function. Okay, so this wave function, so what we have just BCC lattice. So guys, do you know the primitive translation vectors of BCC crystal structure? You know, you remember?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me.
2 pi by a I plus j. A star is equal to
I plus j minus k.
k. Other direct lattice.
Yeah, for direct lattice. Primitive translation vectors
A by
for BCC.
2.
Yes. When we talk about the primitive translation vector in direct lattice, so this term will we have a by 2. Okay. And for BCC we have these three, all these three vectors. So for BCC lattice, these three are the primitive translation vectors. Okay. A by 2 minus I plus j plus k, and similarly the 2. So what is the condition, guys, for Bloch function? The condition should be like this. Okay, UKR plus A equals to UKR. And here we are talking about this f of r. We have this wave function. So this wave function should satisfy the condition, means f of r plus A, vector A dash, equals to f of r, isn't it? So this will satisfy the condition. Okay, so vector A is this vector. Okay, so first we will see only for this vector, we will see that our f of r plus vector A, this is vector A. Okay, so this is basically vector A dash. Okay, so first we will see function f vector r plus vector A. If it is equal to the same vector f of r, then it's true. Okay, so it should satisfy the condition, and if this condition is satisfied, we can similarly write that f of r plus b equals to f of r, and similarly f of r plus c equals to f of r. Okay, so first we will see, okay, for same thing. Okay, so we choose an option, here, and the option is this second option. Okay, so your f of r is this 1 plus cos 2 pi upon a x plus y plus cos 2 pi upon a y plus z plus cos 2 pi upon a z plus x. Okay, so if you are taking f of r plus a, in this term, guys, see, we have x and y component only x and y component, and we are replacing these constant, these coordinates by these coordinates. Okay, so what is the component of x? We can say vector I cap. What is the component? Minus a by 2. And for y, means for j, what is the component? Plus a by 2. So now in f of r plus a, the term, this term x plus y will be x minus a by 2 plus pi plus a by 2, because here the components we have only x plus y, so we will take only components of x and y, means vector I cap and j cap. Okay, you are getting this thing? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So for this, these are the components. Okay, and in the second term we have y and z only. So for y, c plus a by 2, and for z plus a by 2. So plus a by 2 plus a by 2. Similarly, z and x, for z you have also plus a by 2, and for x minus a by 2. Okay, these things. So this term automatically they will cancel out. We will have term only in this, and this will be plus a. So it will be 1 plus cos 2 pi by a x plus y. Okay, cancel out, plus cos 2 pi by a y plus z plus 2 pi, because it will be plus a, and when we will multiply 2 pi by a into a, it will be 2 pi. Okay, and this term again will be same, cos 2 pi by a z plus x. So what is cos 2 pi plus theta? Cos theta. So what we will get in next step? Cos 2 pi by a y plus z, means this term, and this term is nothing, this is your function, this was your initial function. So our f of r plus a is f of r. So this function is satisfying the condition of Bloch theorem. Okay, and we have taken for this in first vector. So we can also find out the same for vector b and vector c. So similarly, we can write here that f of r plus b will be f of r, and similarly f of r plus c equals to f of r. So your option B is correct option. And I will tell you, suppose if you take this function, okay, if you take this function, and in this step x plus y minus z, okay, so for x you will take minus a by 2, for y plus a by 2, and for z it will be plus a by 2. Okay, so just you need to solve these things, okay, quickly, and you can find out that these options are not right options. Okay, you need not to solve the whole process. Okay, in 2-3 steps, guys, you will realize that this option is not going to give you the right answer. Okay, and similarly for C and D options. So sometimes you need to think about all the options, and you need to solve little by taking all the options. Okay, so it may be little lengthy but not that much tough. Okay, so the idea is that the key point is that, guys, you should always solve the problems, okay, till the end. And once you will practice in this way so you can easily solve the problems in exam. Okay, sometimes if you have a lack of practice about such kind of calculation or something so if you are going to try these types of questions in your exam, so definitely you can make mistakes. Okay, so you should always solve problems. Okay. Okay, so next problem is the Bloch theorem states that within a crystal, the wave function psi r of an electron has a form. So it's simple. You have to find out the right option. Okay, so you know what is a Bloch theorem now. Okay, and it's like the two option psi r equals to ur e to the power I k dot r. So, okay, so this option and this option, they are same. Okay, so they can be right option, but we will see these things. Okay, so what they have written that u vector r is an arbitrary function and vector k is an arbitrary vector. Okay, and in fourth option they have written that u vector r equals to u vector r plus vector a, where vector a is a lattice vector and k is an arbitrary vector. So in this option D, they are giving us extra information, correct information about this function UR, and this is the right information. This is UR is a periodic function. Okay, and where A is the lattice vector, or where we can say if it's a lattice constant, so it's the right formula. Okay, so this option D is the correct option, not A. Any confusion?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, so now we will see effective mass of electron. Okay, this is very important topic. Okay, never skip this topic because the formula is very simple, and the problems, the chance of getting problems from this topic is more than 80%. Okay, so you all know the normal mass of your electron. Okay, free electron mass, you all know about this, but in experiments, guys, when we will calculate some different constants regarding your electron, so we have seen that like we are calculating some physical properties of your crystal, like some optical properties, thermal properties, or we can say some electrical properties. Okay, like electrical conductivity and these types of properties. So sometimes what we get that the mass we are getting for electrons sometimes is larger, and if you are performing some other experiment, you will realize that in that case the mass will be smaller. Okay, so what is the reason behind that? Okay, so to solve this to solve these problems, we we concluded that in experimentally determined quantities, the electron mass which we are getting is basically the effective mass. Means it's not the actual mass, it is the effective mass, because of the influence of some different kind of phenomena, some different kind of property, force, okay, inside the crystal, and due to this effect the free electron is basically behaving like that it is having some different mass. So Due to this influence, the mass is known as effective mass of your electron. Okay, and this is represented by m star. Okay, so effective mass of your electron, the formula of effective mass of electron is h cut square upon dE over dk square. Okay, and what is this E? E is the energy vector, and k is a wave vector. So the idea of effective mass is basically coming when we talk about the band theory. Okay, band theory when we talk about, so this formula is coming from that band theory, and this is very important formula. So you can see that m star, your effective mass is not constant. This term h cut square is constant, but this term is not constant. So m star is not constant, and it is depending on this term d2e over dk square, and that means the shape of the curve, ek curve, because in band theory we get the curve of energy with respect to your k wave vector. So basically your m star is depending on the, we can say, slope of the curve or the shape of the curve. We will see what kind of relation E and K have. Okay, so this is the formula. And okay, so you can also relate the effective mass and the free mass of your electron, real mass of your electron. And this term, this is basically the ratio of these two terms. So Fk is basically m over m star, and this is m upon h cut square d2e over dk square, if you put the value of your m star. Okay, so if this value Fk is 1, so what is the meaning? Means your electron is behaving like a free electron, means the two masses are same. Okay, if somehow this Fk is less than 1, so obviously this m star will be greater than this value m. Okay, and so we are saying that this mass is greater. So your free electron is behaving as some heavy particle. Okay, and we can also get this mass as negative, yani ki, you will have m star sometimes negative. So what is the physical significance that your effective mass is negative? So to understand this thing, in Bragg reflection, okay, in Bragg reflections, there will be some kind of force, okay, where this force is affecting your free electron, and this leads in the negative effective mass, and this is basically the mass of your hole. If you are talking about the hole, so we can say the effective mass of hole is negative and just opposite to the mass of electron. Okay, so in band theory, you can figure out in detail what is the negative effective mass once you will see the different kind of band structures. Okay, so we are not giving you the detail because that's not that much important. Okay, for NET and GATE examination, you need to remember the formulas and the little basic information. So in the same way, we calculated and we figured out the effective mass of electron in band theory. We can also find out the velocity of your electron. Okay, so in quantum mechanics, in mechanical theory, you know that the your particle, we suggested that our particle is basically a wave packet. Okay, and when a particle moves, basically we say that the some waves are combined, there are some combined waves and they are moving. Okay, and that's why we know about the group velocity. Okay, because there are waves and these waves are traveling in a group, so the actual velocity, the final velocity, is known as group velocity, and the formula is d omega upon dk, where this term omega is angular frequency and also known as de Broglie frequency. So energy and this angular frequency have this relation, means E equals to h cut omega, you all know. Okay, so from these two equations you can find out the value of V, and it's 1 upon h cut dE over dk. So dE over dk is what? If you know the EK curve, the energy vector curve, so you know that this dE over dk will be what? The slope of the curve. So the velocity of electron is depending on the slope of the EK curve. Okay, so this is also important thing, important formula. So, okay, so these graphs are important. Okay, so these are important graphs. So first graph is the EK curve. Okay, your EK curve, and this is on y-axis you have energy vector, and this is your on x-axis your position wave vector. Okay, so guys, one thing, remember one thing here, we are not talking about free electron. You know that for free electron your energy is, you know this relation, right? For free electron theory we have this relation that energy wave vector is h cut square k square upon 2m. So this is the parabolic relation, means in this case your E and K are between E and K you will get a parabolic curve, a simple parabolic curve. But here we are not talking about the free electron theory, it's a band theory, and E is periodic in K, but at the zone boundaries, at the boundaries of your brilliant zone, means at these positions plus minus pi by a plus minus 2 pi by a, this periodicity is basically discontinuous. Okay, if means this periodicity will last only at these points plus minus pi by a, and from here it will start like this. Okay, like this. If you will go beyond, it will be like this. So you can see here there is discontinuity now, there is no continuous behavior of this parabolic term thing. Okay, means your E is not parabolic with K. Okay, so some discontinuous thing is coming, and this thing is basically, what is this, you know what is this? जो ये आप पढ़ते हो ना, what is the band gap in the metal insulators and semiconductors, you know the band gap?
Yes, ma'am.
Big conductor.
Yeah, so this is basically coming into picture. The bands we are talking about is due to the band theory only. Okay, means your band theory is responsible to give you an idea about the forbidden band gaps. Okay, so the discontinuous this is a here we have discontinuous, okay, behavior. So this thing, this portion where this whole thing is breaking, okay, so this is nothing but your forbidden gap. Okay, means the electron cannot move, cannot go, and cannot stay in these in this portion, because there are no state. Okay, there is no state, so your electron cannot stay in this region. So these are the forbidden band gap. Okay, so your discontinuous EK curve is discontinuous at the zone boundaries. Okay, and one more thing. Okay, and your E is periodic function of K with period 2 pi by A. Okay, this is 0 to pi by A, 0 to pi by A. So the whole period is 2 pi by A, right? So this is the relation, the behavior of E versus K in band theory. Okay, and we have discussed about the electron velocity, V equals to 1 upon h cut dE over dk. So in free electron velocity, we are talking about that V is basically depending on the slope of EK curve. So right, it depends on the slope of EK curve. So here your E is 0. So your dE over dk will be 0. And if your dE over dk at this position is 0, so automatically your velocity will be 0 at this point, right? Okay, so it's basically yeah, so this is the behavior of velocity, means your velocity is you have V equals to 0 at K equals to 0, and also at pi by A, at plus minus pi by A, your velocity is 0. Okay, because here also the slope is 0 here, and what you will get at this position here, the slope is maximum. The slope is maximum. So at these points are known as the inflection points. The inflection points of your EK curve. So at these positions, your velocity is maximum. So this is very, very important relation. Okay. And this is the behavior of your effective mass with respect to wave vector k. Okay, so you see this, that in this region, let's start from 0. This is your 0. Your k is here. One second. The value of k is 0 here. Okay, so this will be the upper half. This is the upper half portion. So you see that okay, so in this region you see that your effective mass only is in this region. Effective mass is positive, right? And in this region from here to here, your effective mass is negative, right? So in the lower half of your band, your M star is positive, and in the upper half band, your effective mass is negative. At these points, these points are known as inflection points. At these points, your M star is negative. Infinite, right? Because it is going like this. So what will be the value here? Infinite. You are getting?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes.
So, okay. So in the lower half of your band, your M star is positive. In the upper half, your M star is positive, and at the inflection points, your M star is infinite. So this is how these three terms M star, V, and E are related with the wave vector K. So these three are very, very interesting and important results of band theory. Okay. And this is the main result of a Cronin-Penny model, because this model gives you the main results of a band theory. Okay, Cronin-Penny performed this whole experiment. Okay, and this is the behavior of EK. Okay, the whole curve is this. So you see your E is parabolic. Okay, E is parabolic with K, but only up to these points. Up to these points, you see the discontinuous thing here. The same thing we saw in the last EK curve. Okay, so this is the, okay, and now you can see, okay, for only first Brillouin zone, minus pi by 2 plus pi by a. Okay, so this is the figure. Okay, the parabolic behavior and the discontinuity. Okay, so these are the energy bands. Okay. Okay, so this is also from NET exam, and the problem is the band energy of an electron in a crystal for a particular k direction has a form this. Okay, so this is the EK relation. This is the EK relation where A and B are positive constants, and Ka, the condition for Ka is that it's greater than 0 and less than pi. The electron has a hole-like behavior over the following range of K. So, okay, so tell me what they are asking. Question समझ में आया आपको? Read it once and tell me what they want. It's not tough actually. Just try to figure out what they are asking. Justin?
Ma'am,
What is this term whole like behavior? What is the meaning of whole like behavior? What is the relation of this thing to your M star? If
No.
your electron has a hole like behavior, then the effective mass will be
Negative.
yeah, we can say opposite of effective mass of electron. So we have the EK relation. So from EK relation, we can find out the value of M star. One thing, guys, I think I didn't write the concept of one thing. This here, na, I should write. Basically, now what is the condition? What is the condition that the M star, if you are talking about, if you are talking about, we can say about electron, okay. So the effective mass of electron is opposite in sign, okay, opposite in sign to the effective mass of hole, okay. But in general, we say that the effective mass of hole is positive, okay. It's positive, not negative, okay. So if you are going to figure out, or you are calculating the effective mass of hole, it should be positive. So this is your problem, okay. So this is your problem. So can you find out the value of your M star, because you have EK, and what is the formula of your M star? It's h cut square upon dE over dk square, okay. So double differentiate this term with respect to A, and okay, so it will be d2E over dk square, and you can find out M star. So M star for this relation is h cut square for BA square cos 2KA, okay. So we have what values we have for Ka: pi by 4, 3 pi by 4, pi by 2, pi, 0, okay, 3 pi by 4. So we have these 4 to 5 values of Ka, and these different regions, and we have to find out for which option your M star will be positive. So we can find out this thing, okay. Okay, so here we can take these values, okay. Your Ka can be 0, pi by 4, 3 pi by 4, pi by 2, and pi also, okay, pi also. And for all the different values of these Ka, we can find out the corresponding M star, right? So suppose your Ka is 0, your Ka is 0, so it will be cos 0. What is the value of cos 0? 1.
1.
So your M star will be h cut square upon 4 BA square. So we can say it's positive. It's positive term. So for pi by 4, your pi by 4, it will be pi by 2. And cos pi by 2 is 90. So the whole term will be infinite.
0.
Infinite. 1 upon infinite is 0, na? Oh, sorry, 1 upon 0 is infinite, na?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so it will be infinite. And for 3 pi by 4, if this term is 3 pi by 4, so it will be 3 pi by 2. And what is 3 pi by 2? Minus. It will be minus cos. Let me draw. You know how to find out sine 180
Yes, yes.
theta. This is the shortcut, and I hope you all know. So if we are in first quadrant, means we are talking about some 90 minus theta thing, okay. So 90 minus theta thing. So we are in the first quadrant. So all the relations will be positive, okay. And if we are in this quadrant, means we are talking about sine 90 plus or 180 minus. So for both the cases, we will be in the second quadrant. So in this quadrant only, the relation for only sine are positive, sine. Okay. And similar way, if we are in this quadrant, means 180 plus and 270 minus. So in this only 10 are positive, and for this only sorry. Okay, so this is a relation. So we are talking about 3 pi by 4. So for 3 pi by 4, this term will be cos 3 pi by 2. 3 pi by 2 is what? It's 270 degree. So we are in this quadrant. So if you are talking about cos 270 degree, it will be cos 180 plus 90. Okay, so it will be negative, means minus cos, and in this quadrants the terms are not changing, means if you are taking cos, it will be cos, so it will be minus cos 90. Cos 90 is 0 but minus, so minus 1 upon 0 will be minus infinite. Okay, next term is pi by 2. If this is pi by 2, it will be simply cos pi, and cos pi is also minus 1, negative value, so it will be negative term. It will be negative term. Okay, and okay, so what is the relation? Means for 0 value, for pi by 4 value, your m star is positive, and if you have your angle less than this value 3 pi by 4, it's also positive. So the relation, okay, this is 0 to pi by 4, and here we cannot say this condition is true, because if your angle is greater than pi by 4 na, greater than pi by 4, so it's also positive. So this relation is the true relation, because for this relation, for all the values, your m star will be positive. So this is the condition where your electron is behaving as a whole. Okay, so you can write this. Option A is the correct answer.
Ma'am?
Yes, please.
Ma'am, one general doubt, ma'am. Ma'am, if in this question, if the options are given by if the options the k is lies between 0 to pi by 2, if the options are given that question, ma'am, is it instead of pi by 4, k is lies between pi by 4 and 3 pi by 4, is it right, ma'am?
But it would be wrong, okay, because you have seen that if your theta, your angle is between 0 to pi by 2, so
Okay,
it basically sometimes it's positive, sometimes it's negative, so it's not holding a single value, means it is positive also and it is negative also, so it is having two different values, okay, positive and negative. So we cannot say that during the whole range it's not positive, it's not negative, it's the mixed condition. Okay, somewhere it is behaving like a whole and somewhere it's behaving like an electron, so the option will be wrong automatically.
okay, ma'am.
Okay, and see the year. Okay, in December, every time in December exam na, you have questions on this related to m star, effective mass. So okay, so be ready for December exam, you will get the problem. In a band structure calculation, the dispersion relation for the electron is found to be this. Okay, we have the relation between A and K. So beta is constant, A is the lattice constant, and the effective mass at the boundaries of the first William zone is this. Okay, so if you have the value of E, you can find out the value of D to E over dk square. Okay, and if you are confused that here we have kx, ky and kz, so what is this basically, guys? D to E over dk square, we can also write it as del square E, right? It's the double differentiation del square E, so we can write it as in the operator thing. So it will be the value of del square is what? If we are in the k space, kx, ky, kz, so this term del square will be del square, your function del square E over del kx square plus del square E k upon del ky square plus del square ek upon del k z square. Means you can directly find this term del square ek. Double differentiate this term with respect to kx, double differentiate this term with respect to ky, and similarly double differentiate this term with respect to kz. So single differentiation of cos x is minus sign, and again when you differentiate it will be cos with negative sign, and we will have each time we will have this constant. So it will be minus a square cos kxa minus a square cos kya and minus a square cos kza. Okay, so take out this a square, it will be this term, and okay, so this is the your d square ek over dk square. So we have to find this effective mass at the boundaries of the first William zone. And what are the boundaries of William zone? Plus minus pi by a, plus minus pi by a. And we have these 3k, so the values will be same for all. So put the value of kx, ky, and kz as plus minus pi by a. Okay. Put the values and you will find the answer. Okay. So any confusion here?
No, ma'am. Yes.
Okay. Guys, 1 second, guys. Okay.
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, what about minus sign in last line?
In last slide, 1 second.
Yes. No, in this slide, I think minus 3 beta a square answer is, because minus beta a square is in first line. D square ek by dk square is equal to minus beta a square.
Yeah,
so
you are right.
Here is positive.
You are right. It would be 1 second. It will be cos pi by a plus minus. Yeah. Cos minus theta is theta, cos theta. It will be minus, but we are writing here as in the options. Okay, just magnitude we are taking here. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so it's also from December 2013. The energy of an electron in a band as a function of its wave vector k is given by S, the relation between E and K, okay? And B and A are constant. The effective mass of the electron near the bottom of the band. So guys, this problem is quite similar to this problem, okay? In this problem also, you have to find out the value of M star, but here, near the bottom of the band. So what would be the condition for this line? Near the bottom of the band.
Negative.
Let me show you this. These are your bands now. These are the filled bands and these are the forbidden bands. Okay. So what is the bottom? See and tell me what would be the bottom of your band. What should be the condition? Where I should mark? This is the bottom now.
Negative.
0.
Negative.
No, k tends to 0.
0.
Tends to 0. The condition would be this. So bottom of the band means k tends to 0. So first you will calculate your M star. Okay, calculate your M star. Okay, you can easily calculate your M star by choosing this condition. When your k tends to 0 means k is going to be it's nearly 0 and it's very small. And if these k's are very small, so we can write the expansion of your cos term is 1 minus if cos it is cos x, suppose, so it will be 1 minus x square upon factorial 2 plus x to the power 4 upon factorial 4. No? So if this angle term is very small, we are just taking initial two terms. Okay, so for all the cos values, we are taking only initial two terms. Okay, so put the values, initial values, and you can find out your E. Then you can double differentiate these terms and you can find out the value of d2e over dk square, and similarly the value and in the same way you can find out your M star. So it will be your m star h cut square upon ba square. Okay.
Ma'am, on general doubt, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, where we can get minus half kxa the whole square, ma'am?
This nothing. Okay, you have 1 1 1, it will be 3, and these terms, okay, these terms are same because minus 1 by 2 you can common, minus 1 by 2, and a square you can also common. So
Ma'am, in previous step, ma'am.
in previous step, in this step, yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, Justin, it's the formula of cos theta, na? What is the formula of cos theta, you know? See, this annotation doesn't suit me, but I'm trying to write. This cos theta, the formula of cos theta is 1 minus theta square upon factorial 2, this is okay, plus, okay, plus next term theta 4 upon factorial 4. So if this theta is very, very small, so automatically theta 4 will be very, very small. So we just taking initial these two terms. Okay, so we are writing these two terms. Okay, so factorial 2 is 2 na. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So next next problem, and it's December 2015. I was giving this exam. Okay, so yeah. So the dispersion relation of electrons in a three-dimensional lattice in the tight binding approximation is given by this relation, where A is lattice constant, alpha, beta, gamma are constant with dimension of energy. So the effective mass tensor at the corner of the first billion zone, this is. So using this relation, you have to find out the tensor, effective mass tensor. Do you know what is a tensor, guys?
Higher order vector.
Hmm?
Higher order vector.
Higher order vector. Okay, we can say that. So we are talking about m star, and see here you have three values of pi by a, means we are talking about three dimension. Okay, kx, ky, kz. Okay, these three vectors are there. So you can represent your m star like this. Okay, these are the tensor kind of things now, mij. Okay, so your effective mass will be like this. Okay, three vectors. Okay, because we have three components x, y, and z. Okay, so these are the vector tensor, we can say tensor notation, tensor system for your effective mass. So using this relation between E and Ka, we have to find out these 9 values. Okay, so the formula of I didn't write here. Okay? Oh, I missed. 1 second. So you know the general formula of m star. Okay, the formula of m star is this. You know general formula, but I'm not writing the general thing here. We have to find out, if we are going to find out mxx star, it will be h cut square over del E over del first thing kx. Okay, and second term also be kx. Okay, because you are talking about be patient, guys, and this is m x x star. Okay, this is mx star. So if you want to calculate this term now, mxx star, it will be like this. Okay, and if you are going to find out the value of this mxy star, so the formula will be h cut square upon del E over del kx del E over del ky. Okay, so in this way you can calculate. Okay, in this way you can calculate. So you will see you will see your formula that in the first term, this term, you have only component of kx, okay, not ky. So if you will like differentiate this with respect to ky, there is no term. So that means is that the terms, these different terms, mxy star, mxyz star, or mz star are 0. So you will only get these terms mxx star, myy star, and mz z star. And what is the value of mx star? It will be, you can calculate, you can differentiate easily. It will be minus h cut square upon alpha a square cos kxa, and your myy star will be this, and your mzz star will be this. Okay, and all these terms are 0. So condition is given to us that at zone boundaries you have to find out the m star, and the zone boundaries are basically these. Okay, kx, ky, kz are pi by a, pi by a, pi by a. So put the values here in these 3 terms. Okay, so your mxx star will be this, this, this. Okay, so you can put these values in this form, in this tensor form. Okay, so you can see the term, in all the term, your h cut square upon a square is the common term. So you can take out from matrix this term h cut square upon a square, and what we will, what is remaining here? 1 upon alpha, 1 upon beta, and 1 upon gamma. Okay, so you can see it will be this. Okay, so this is your option C. Your option C is correct option. Any doubt, any confusion?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. So now this is our next problem. Okay. So it's from GATE exam. The tight binding energy dispersion relation for electron in a 1D array of atom having lattice constant A and length L is. Okay. So this is the relation of EK, where E naught, beta, and gamma are constant, and K is a wave vector. So the density of states of electron, including spin degeneracy in the band, is given by. So this is from the band theory, okay, and you have to find out the density of states for electron when we are also including the spin degeneracy. So you know the formula of density of states in 1D. We calculate this thing. We calculate in this way. Na? In 1D, it will be dk over pi by L, and also the factor of 1 upon 2, right? So we can also write this term as, okay, L upon 2 pi into dk. So this term dE we can put here, okay. So it will be L upon 2 pi, 1 upon dE over dk. Why we are doing this? Because we can find out the value of dE over dk, because we have the relation between A and K. And they are also talking about the spin degeneracy. So one thing, guys, we have in band theory, okay, we have in bands, and you know that in a state we can have 2 electrons, maximum number of electrons we can have 2. So 2 is coming from here, and if we will include spin degeneracy, it will be 2 again. So it will be 2 into 2. So the total states will be 2 into 2, L upon 2 pi, 1 upon dE over dk. Okay, and you have the EK relation, this E equals to E naught minus beta minus 2 gamma cos Ka. So you can find out the value of dE over dk here. Okay, so it will be 2 gamma A sin Ka. So put here. So your dE will be 4 L upon 2 pi, 1 upon 2 gamma A sin Ka. So your dE will be, your density of states will be 1 upon gamma A sin Ka. 1 L. Okay, 1 second, guys. Did I miss something? Okay, pi. So pi is also there. It's pi and it's L. Okay. So answer will be L upon pi gamma A sin Ka. Yeah, this one. Okay. So this is the correct option. In second problem, 51 problem, the effective mass of electron in the band is given by the effective mass. So it's easy. You can calculate the effective mass. Okay. Effective mass formula is same. Okay. And you can find out this. This is very simple. Option B is your correct option. Okay. So this is all about today's lecture. Okay. So any confusion, any query so far?
No, ma'am. Not now.
Okay. Justin. Okay. And today, Arya.
No, ma'am.
Okay. Pearl is also there.
No, ma'am.
Okay, great. Okay, so do one thing, guys. Try to find out some problems from previous year's question papers related to these topics. Okay, we have covered band theory and effective mass and velocity velocity of electron. Okay, so you can start. You can choose. Okay, and also now just ping the problems from the quiz. Okay, and if you cannot solve some problems now, just tell me. Okay, we will give you the solution and we will give you the okay, how to solve the problems. Okay,
Ma'am, I have a problem in quiz, but
in
I don't know about in quiz, in the previous quiz.
I didn't get you what you are saying.
In previous quiz, I have
Quiz
2,
one.
3 questions. Quiz 2. No, ma'am, quiz 2.
Okay, so Justin, Hasmukh na?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
Hasmukh, do one thing, na? Just post the problems in group. Okay, I will
But
answer. Hmm.
ma'am, I didn't take screenshots of problem.
Okay. So I will do one thing. I will reopen. I think Pearl, you given the exam, you given the quiz,
Yes, ma'am.
and RA is also okay. And Justin, you?
Ma'am, after the class is over, I will do, ma'am.
Okay. Just do so. I will reopen.